want to play the first Mass Effect, you have to go back in time 10 years. You have to get someone to hook you up an Xbox 360, and you have to lower some of your expectations visually and mechanically. But the guys tell me this is the most important game you could play. And if you can't talk fluently about Mass Effect and its universe, you don't really get to call yourself a gamer. And that is a title I would very much like to have one day. I'm Julia, and this is Controller Freak. In Mass Effect 1, the story takes place in a universe where interstellar travel is commonplace, and species coexist together headed by a collective government known as the Council. You play as Commander Shepard, a brilliant astronaut who must intercept the Reapers, a highly advanced machine alien race, in their quest to eradicate all organic life as they do every 50,000 years. Your main quest is to stop the Reapers and their practice of indoctrination, or brainwashing organic life to get them on their side, but Sovereign, the scariest Reaper, and his cronies stand in your way. Can you beat the game and shut down the threat for your lovable alien wingman Garrus, noble crew members Ashley, Kaidan, Tali, and the future of humanity itself? And we're back with the Bruise. Say hi, Bruise.
Hi, Bruise. Hi again.
Yeah, that was good, guys. Owen and Aaron joining us again to talk about this week's game, Mass Effect 1, a very ancient game.
Ancient.
I
ancient
think,
as
right?
the Prothean species, you might say.
Yeah, totally. Good call forward, I think that's called. We'll get there. But yes, a very ancient game made a very long time ago by primitive creatures. But it still holds up, I think we're going to find.
Yeah. No, it still holds up amazingly.
Tell me about the first time you played Mass Effect, Aaron.
The first time, I think I tried to play Mass Effect several different times. I had access to an Xbox 360. I didn't own one, but I had access to one for like 2 weeks. And I played the beginning of Mass Effect, and I was like, oh my god, this is what video games look like now. It's amazing. And I was so swept up in the world and the immersive, like, sci-fi world of it that I loved it. I played all I could for 2 weeks. I think it was like home with my family, and I just ignored them.
Right.
I played Mass Effect all I could. But then I had to leave. I didn't have access to it. And then I downloaded it on the PC, and the PC couldn't run it. It wasn't a gaming PC. It didn't have the hardware. And I attempted to finish it, but it actually... There's a point in the game where you have to drive a car somewhere under a certain time limit, and the PC could not run the game fast enough for that to be actually possible. And so my Shepard in that playthrough was just frozen in that moment. He could never win.
Suspended in time.
Because the frame rate of his world was not fast enough.
Yeah.
What a good metaphor.
But yeah, so those are the two first times I played it, and I loved it so much that I just had to keep trying, you know?
Owen, tell us about your experience.
I saw a friend play it, and I think it was before I even had an Xbox. I think at that point, all I would play was my Nintendo Wii, which was just a lot of WarioWare. I don't know if you ever played WarioWare, but it was a lot of Nintendo games, which is...
It's a dating sim, right?
Yeah, it's the dating sim where you date Wario.
And he farts a lot.
Yeah. And the last level is the third date, and several different endings. Anyway, I saw a friend play Mass Effect, and I didn't really know what the game was, but he was playing a level where you drive the car around, as you mentioned. The tank, I guess you would call the...
Truck.
The landmass, I don't know what you call it. No, that's Star Fox. The Mako, I think it's called.
Yeah.
And I was like, this doesn't seem very interesting or fun. Just watching drive this thing around a barren planet. Mm-hmm. And I didn't really realize that there was a lot more to the game than that. And then I started hearing more and more about the game. And then I think I bought an Xbox, and I was looking for new games, and I just heard too many good things about this Mass Effect.
So you started with the Mako.
Yeah, wasn't impressed.
Only to discover that that is the most, I think, hated part of this game series, right? Notoriously?
Yeah, generally, I feel like.
generally, not a lot of love for
Well, they took it out for the sequel, so I guess enough people didn't like it.
Yeah, right.
But then they keep putting it back. They keep it for
Right, and then
they're
like,
now with new trucks.
Yeah, and now they're just confused and they don't know
They
what
have
to
no
do.
idea what's going on.
Yeah.
Wow, guys, what a trip down memory lane. I played it last year, so a little different for me. Great. Let's get started. First of all, what is a Mass Effect?
It's a damn good question, actually.
Thank you.
Mass Effect, as I understand it, as explained by the opening scrawl in the first game, which you see in the first 5 minutes of play, is the energy field that's created by this ancient technology that humans discover and all the other races of the galaxy have discovered. That is basically the foundation of all of this sci-fi tech. So it's the mass relays. It's, I think, the Citadel to some degree. It's how ships function.
Yeah.
It's just it's the technological basis of all galactic civilization.
Yeah, it's the technology, you could say.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, it's the Internet of Space?
yeah.
Wow, all right, great. I think that was lost on me.
It's okay.
It sounds like it still is.
I had to look it up. I had to look it up, honestly, because all that hard sci-fi stuff is sort of lost on me.
Yeah.
I think it's just a catchy name more than anything, you know?
Yeah, Mass Effect.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, that works for me. I didn't retain anything you just said, but thank you for talking us through that.
Great.
So
Off to a really strong start.
Episode 2, and we're going to end after this one. It's fine.
We're going to become a physics podcast, actually.
Yeah. Totally.
How did you feel? Because you haven't really talked about when you started playing. We talked about how we felt, but when you started making did you make a guy or a girl?
I made a girl.
You made a girl.
I made a girl.
Were you excited? Because was this the first time you've ever created a character for a game?
No, but it was definitely the second or third.
Oh, right.
Very early up there.
Yeah.
I have found, I don't know if this is true for you guys, but sort of disturbingly, my character creators, they always end up looking like my mom. Did either of you have that experience where you just keep making your mom?
No,
you didn't have that experience. That definitely, the 2 or 3 times, and since then, they've all been my mom. Just different brunettes with bangs. Yeah. so, not sure what that's about, but, sorry, Mom. and it was a really interesting experience. I think it really makes it personal for you if you spent, 45 minutes, or in Aaron's case, like 6 hours making a guy or a girl, you get immediately sort of invested, right?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
And this is the first time we talked about character creators, because last week, The Witcher, you can choose Geralt's haircut, but that's about it.
Yeah.
And his beard cut. But for this, the whole thing is in your hands, and God, I love it. I love that feeling. I don't know what it is of just making your guy.
Yeah.
I love to do it. It's honestly, you could make, and this has happened before, you could make a football simulator, and I don't enjoy football or football simulators. But if you put like an amazing character creator in there, I would buy that football simulator. And I would make guys, and then they would play shit football, and I would love it.
I feel like that probably exists.
Well, then I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I get such a kick out of doing that. It does invest me almost immediately. And I'm also always very serious about it, too. I know that there's a strain of people who make jokey characters or like try to make the most crazy looking character, and that feels wrong to me.
Yeah, disingenuous. I agree.
I don't know why, but I could never do that. Yeah.
That's interesting because I feel like I've watched you play this game before and other games where you create your character and you just like, I feel like you haven't done your job unless you are just consistently amused by your guy's face every time he appears on screen.
Okay,
would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Julia?
Now, to be clear, I make like the hardest looking. I try to make. I've played this game like 4 times, right?
Mass Effect 1?
Yes,
oh, wow.
And I've always tried to make like I'll do a different guy this time, and he always comes out the exact same. which is like extremely handsome, hard man with like a beautiful brush cut and like piercing Daniel Craig eyes.
Yeah.
Specific. It's a very specific reference.
It always comes out the same way.
You have a type. You definitely have a type.
I do have a type.
Yeah.
And so I am amused every time I see him, but it's not because he's got no eyes or like his hair is like a...
It's because he's intense.
It's just because he's so absolutely the most intense man you could ever forge in a man forge.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I get a little...
Do either of you tap into the feeling of you are God now? You've made this person, you have put them here, they are your puppet? Or is that just a Julia thing?
I don't know.
They will do as you command them time and again until they are done serving your purpose. Is that just me?
Yes, ma'am.
Got it.
I don't get that quite from the character creator in like this kind of game. I get that a little more from like Sim City or like any of those very, very macro. Civilization a little bit. But this game is too personal.
Too micro.
You feel like God, yeah.
And scripted. Very, very, like, specifically scripted.
Tightly,
well
yes.
written. So
Yes.
it does take away some of your ambiguity and your ability.
And what's great about this series with your character that you create is that you are going to take this shepherd into the sequels.
Yeah.
So you end up with the same
That's
person
right.
for 3 games, so you really grow attached to this thing that you've created.
And they morph as the graphics get better. They're like a better, refined version of the 2D person you made in Mass Effect 1, which is super interesting. Mm-hmm. My mom looked pretty bad by the episode 3.
Yeah.
She looked pretty
sometimes
rough.
it's like a slight bastardization. It's like playing telephone. And by the third one, you're like, did I make that guy?
Yeah, totally.
It's really intense.
Yeah, she had like a very severe bob cut. It was a whole thing. Yeah. But okay. Where do we pick up in this very first installment of this legendary trilogy? What is happening? I kind of know, but like, the world of it, I feel like a lot gets thrown at you right away. There are a lot of names. I don't know how the fuck you're supposed to remember. What's the name of the ship?
The Normandy.
The Normandy.
Great, sorry.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
I think the first thing that drew me in is the relationships and all the people you meet and all the nuanced conversations you get to have with all of these characters right off the bat. So, in that sense, I mean, who do we meet right away? You meet
Nihilus, you meet Seth Green, you meet Caden.
Caden Alenko. Do you meet Ashley at the same time?
On Eden Prime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Captain Anderson?
Keith David.
Yep.
Keith David.
Which, you guys know who that is and you love him. I'm not sure I know
Keith
that.
David's amazing voice makes Mass Effect 20 times better, and it's already great.
Shepard. I'm not gonna lie to you, Shepard. Things are bad. Yeah.
Just like immediately the most, you just want him to be your dad, and it's just a very special voice.
I know you're pissed off right now, but you can't give up. They all think this is over, but we both know it's not.
Who's Houdina? Is that a different guy?
Counselor Udina.
Yeah. He's just like your just like antagonist asshole politician.
Right.
He's sort of like your boss in every cop movie, you know, who's just like, Shepard, you blew up an entire spaceship.
Yeah.
500 credits worth of damages.
He's the money guy.
Yeah, he's the money guy, right?
Okay. Checks and balances.
Could have gone better. Shepard.
Right, so those are the people you meet right off the bat.
And there's a real bad Turian dude named Saren.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Saren despises humanity. That's why he attacked Eden Prime.
Your species needs to learn its place, Shepard.
This whole thing is happening for you and humanity at this very important time in humanity's galactic history, where we're sort of new on the stage. There's a lot of different tensions with us and other races. We want to be a part of the galactic kind of community, but there's a lot of distrust and there's a lot of
towards humans,
enmity towards us and bias against other aliens.
Right.
We don't trust a lot of them, and the amount that you buy into us being a part of the galactic community, or alternatively, the amount that you buy into us being special and all aliens being not worthy of your time or trust, is totally up to you as Shepard, which is a really cool decision. It's not black and white. You could justifiably say we are on our own, or say we need to be helpful to to all the races of the galaxy.
Like, what really hooked me into this game is the downtime between missions. Talking to your crew, flirting a little bit with whoever. And I think it's sort of like, it set a standard for me with games. Like, I want that downtime now between the big missions. It's kind of like real life. It's like, well, you just had a busy day, now you need to, like, unwind.
Right.
Maybe talk to your friends.
There's nothing more Bioware than more than the missions and more than the action. Like, wanting to go downstairs on your ship and, like, checking in with people over and over again after you do anything in the main story to make sure they don't have anything else to say. Because you love these people.
Yeah.
And you want to understand where they're at. And you want to make sure they feel taken care of. It's a very caring game in that way.
Yeah. And as good as the plot is and as rich as the lore is, just the downtime was my favorite stuff. Totally.
This is why I love, and this is not a great opinion to have around some people because they'll get mad at you. I love the elevators in this game. Oh. There are so many fucking elevators because they're load screens. The game is loading while you're running a long elevator.
Yeah, but it's clever.
It's clever, and there's like stupid like Mass Effect elevator music playing, and your people talk to each other on the elevator. They'll like weigh in on something, or they'll have a little chat. And I love those elevators, man. I really do.
You're right. It is downtime. It's a pacing thing too, because you get tired of shooting and running.
Exactly.
And that's the stuff I'm really not good at. So for me, it was like, all right, I can have a conversation. And I felt like I excelled in those moments. I mean,
it's not too difficult.
Are we? Yeah, I know. Plus,
it would be good if there was one part of the wheel that was just like bad conversationalist Shepard.
Yeah, socially not graceful Shepard.
It's just so deep.
And it's funny
Turians have regular junk or what?
And you can fail at conversations in a way because your renegade or paragon scores might not be high enough, so you don't have access to certain responses to characters.
That's what
that was pretty exclusive to the first game. I think they fixed that because that was kind of annoying.
I thought my game was broken.
Like, you couldn't, or no, maybe you could do it in the sequel too. But
yes, because I remember not being charming enough to like stop Miranda and Jack from hating each other in Memi 2.
Right. Because if your Paragon score or whatever was high enough by the end, you could just, like, talk Saren out of his evil scheme and just, like, make him kill himself.
Yeah,
right?
You'd be like, you should shoot yourself.
Yeah, but your Paragon score's gotta be high enough or you can't do that.
Did we all lean strongly towards Paragon here? Or
complete opposite. Really? I think Aaron's always Paragon.
Yeah.
Not me. I go with the bad.
You're a renegade?
Totally.
I'm not here to put up with your crap, Darius. Shall we talk, or should I just shoot you now?
Wow.
Because it's just more fun.
Uh-huh.
You just be a dick.
My brain's been scrambled like an egg. How do you think I feel?
That's amazing. I think I was a little Paragon, but I was very proud of my renegade moments because they felt like I was making a choice, you know, just like, and you get to decide like what are the things that your shepherd is pissed off about and like not good at navigating, you know? Yes. And that feels really inventive and cool.
Call me princess again and you'll be picking your teeth up off the floor. Now tell me where Garrus is.
What is the Garrus mission that you have throughout Mass Effect 1?
Yeah, there's like a
Dr. Hart.
A renegade doctor that you're going after who I forget what he did, but
he
killed everyone on your ship or something.
No, he's like an organ smuggler or some bullshit. He's some like small time like weird serial killer or organ smuggler that Garrus is obsessed with.
Yeah, Garrus is looking for him, and then you can have that side mission where you go find him. And yeah, you don't have to take Garrus with you, which you didn't,
did not.
Right?
I did not.
You mad that I took your kill?
I'm a bit upset, yeah. I've been hoping to nail him for some time.
I ran into him in one of our check-ins.
Yeah.
After I wiped out the doctor with other people.
Yeah.
And he was like...
He had to find out from like the log report of like what happened that day.
And he literally said, God, I wish I'd been there. And I was like, man, I fucked up and it didn't even cross my mind.
Shepard, but I sure would like to have been there.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's just one of those things that you gotta, it makes sense in story, but you aren't always thinking about that. You're thinking about efficiency.
Right.
And I think Garrus had just been kind of fucking up in battle, so I was like, you're gonna stay.
Yeah.
And the people who are really qualified are gonna come in and do this, but, narrative, not a strong narrative choice. Whatever. How are we supposed to know that? We're just trying to win.
It's great that, I think it's great that Bioware, like, rubs that in your face a little bit, though.
Yeah.
Is like, why didn't you not bring him along to take care of this dude who he's had a vendetta against for years?
Yeah.
You just, like, wiped him out with, like, Ashley.
Right. Like Ashley and Tali Zora.
Right. And didn't tell him. Yeah.
It is funny to think about that, actually. Because you do get to shape the story, but there's sort of a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it.
Well,
sometimes.
Yeah, you can be wildly inconsiderate to people, and, like, it'll sort of let you know that. And that's, I really love that.
Yeah. Fair enough. So, I mean, if we're talking about wrong choices, there are plenty more where that came from. I don't know how you guys feel about the choices you made throughout these different missions that you're doing.
Oh boy, we talking about Vermeer right now?
I mean, I guess we could talk about Vermeer. It was a big deal for me when it happened personally, because I felt really cheated, actually. All right, so someone describe to the listeners what happens on Vermeer. What's the setup? There's a bomb, and there's a life that must be sacrificed.
Correct. Yes. In some ways, it's the nadir emotionally of the game. It's where you and the crew hit your lowest point. It's basically after you've done you followed all the leads, you figured out what's going on, you've got to go to this base, one of Saren's bases of operations on this planet Vermeer. He's creating a Krogan army. He's raising these Krogan that he think will be loyal to him, and you've got to put a stop to it. And so you take your team and you go and you hunt down this base. It's revealed that the Reapers are the real threat here, and that Saren is just their pawn. And then you have to make a choice. You've got to nuke the base. It's got to be done. But only one person can make it out alive: Ashley or Katie.
And Ashley is this hyper-religious woman on your crew. Right?
She loves poetry.
She's really into God. Mm-hmm. And Caden is your bro companion. He's bionic. He's nice kid. And early love interest, probably the earliest one. So I was for it. Fem Shep was for it. And someone has to stay with the nuke, right, to set it off.
You can't both escape. I forget what the actual mechanics are, but somebody's got to make sure that nuke goes off, and somebody gets to come with you back to the ship.
Yeah. So in my mind, I thought this is a great opportunity for Caden to prove himself to me and prove what a man he is. I left him on the planet with the nuke, and I said, "See you back on board." And as I was making this choice, the game was telling me that this was it, but I was too far in. I had already made my choice.
Right. By the time you were like, "I'm sorry, Caden," like it was too late now to go back.
I was like, why am I saying sorry?
Yeah.
Sorry, Caden?
Right.
He's just gonna push a button and then he's gonna be a hero and we're gonna go have sex in space. No. He was blown to shreds, and I never saw him again.
So
and
from Caden's perspective, he's like, you guys are having flirty banter.
We were so flirty. It was a sure thing.
He's gonna maybe like have a relationship with this beautiful commanding officer who he's very enthralled with at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then you go on a mission.
Julia's mom.
Julia's mother. and then you go on a mission, and there's somebody who has to arm a nuke. Several people say there's not enough time.
Yeah. So you just left him, and I guess he was just left to be like, "Oh,
I guess she didn't care about me as much as I thought."
Yeah, I thought we had a thing.
I was flabbergasted. I could not believe that happened.
So stupid.
As the planet blew up behind me, I was like,
no!
Is he on an escape
You're like,
pod?
"Oh wait, he didn't get off that planet."
And your incentive was you're going to allow him the chance to be impressively masculine.
Exactly.
And shield that nuclear explosion with his pecs or something.
Exactly.
And when you make that decision of who you save, the game, I remember this, sends you a pretty strong musical cue that, like, something horrible is about to happen. Yeah. You're like, "I'm sorry, Caden." Durr. It's something like that.
Yes.
And yeah.
Yeah.
But at that point, you still
It was too late at that point.
Yeah.
It was too late. Part of
that's when that's when it sunk in for you.
That's when it sunk in for me was the chord that you're talking about.
Right.
And I was like, fuck.
Yeah. You just gained like 300 experience.
Get it together, soldier. Caden's blood is on Saren's hands, and when we find that son of a bitch, I'll make him pay.
If we're talking about the Vermeer mission, I also just want to mention another part that happens on that planet, which was one of my favorite parts, if not my favorite part of the game, which is you have an argument confrontation with your homeboy Rex.
Yes.
Because he is not...
Well, Saren's figured out how to cure the genophage. Right. And you need to destroy that because it's in the wrong hands.
Right.
You know, Saren's not going to use that for good.
Yeah.
But in Rex's eyes, he's seen thousands of children of the Krogan die stillborn.
Yeah.
Because of this genophage. And he thinks that anybody who wants to destroy that is not on his side, really.
Yeah. So you're like on the beach and you're talking to him and then you like both draw on each other. And then it can go down in like a few different ways. Like you can either talk him out of it, and again, I feel like you need a high enough Paragon or Renegade score to talk him down. Or you can just shoot him, take him out, and he's out of the game. Or you just talk to him for a long time, and then like Ashley shoots him in the back, and you'll be like, I don't know if that was necessary. And she's like, I'm just trying to help you, Shepard. And, like, that's the end of Rex, I guess.
What did you guys do? Did you talk Rex down?
I think I talked him down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100% talked him down. And
Yeah.
it pays off.
It pays off.
Yeah. Because throughout the series, by the end of the series, he's like the Krogan guy.
Well, he was my favorite character, hands down. He was
really?
my favorite bro.
Though Garrus.
Garrus also is a close second.
Guys.
Yeah.
Because Garrus is just the bro from heaven, you know? He's just the best bro you could ever ask for.
I couldn't find anything solid, but I know he's up to something. Like you humans say, I feel it in my gut.
I was in love with him the minute I met him, though.
Yeah.
So you don't have to sell me on Garrus. Like, I get it.
Yeah, it was voices like yours that convinced BioWare to insert in Mass Effect 2 and beyond every kind of freaky alien sex. Just
Yes! We did it!
stick it in whatever. You know?
Which leads to, if I'm remembering, a lot of good conversations about can you do it with you and Garrus? Like, how will we do it?
Well, that's nothing compared to, I mean, we're getting into later installments right now, but that's nothing compared to, like, all of the logistical conversations, extremely unsexy logistical conversations you have to have with, like, Tolly about, like, how you can hook yourself up.
It's
to,
very
like,
complicated.
and she's, like, worried about, like, getting, like, air viruses.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's, like,
God!
Yeah.
No,
that's
it's
so
too
sad.
real. It's really
Those
tough.
poor stupid Quarians.
God.
Yeah.
So, guys, in this, who did you romance?
Ashley.
Really?
Liara.
Yeah, right. Okay, so we're split. Team Ashley, Team Liara.
You can flirt with them both, and then they'll confront you about it. And that sort of... I think when that happened, from that point on, any video game, I always assumed you could just romance two characters at once, and if they got a problem, they'll come and talk to you about
See
it.
episode 1, The Witcher.
Read it. Yeah,
Not
see
the
episode
case.
1.
Not the case.
Yeah, no.
You, like me, you went for Liara.
Right, and I don't think we actually gave that enough weight that after your boyfriend was killed by your actions, you turned lesbian and slept with Liara.
Oh, yeah.
I did.
You just couldn't stand to be alone.
Well, it's good you still had that option.
Yeah, the game was like, sure.
Yeah.
Runner up.
He's like, all right, you got a plan B.
Consolation
Here.
prize, yeah.
So you must have really switched horses quick there. You must have been, immediately after Caden died, you must have been like, Liara, you're looking good.
Well, but in a woman's voice.
Right, yeah, that's right.
Yes. After Caden died, I was so distraught. And she just was so nice. And she came on to me hard.
Oh, wow.
And I was just like, well, sure. What the fuck else am I gonna do? You know? I don't get any more options until episode 2 of this game, so yes. And then you get a very tasteful sex scene, and it's you make a real connection with whoever.
Very tasteful.
And then she was very, very clingy for Mass Effect 2 and 3. Would not leave me alone. Every single time I ran into her in a cafe, she was like, I think about us sometimes. And I was like, can you not? What, are you serious still?
You're the shadow broker now.
Yeah,
like, get over it.
Oh, yeah,
You've got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. You're doing great.
You're doing great,
You're
okay?
doing great. You're going to meet someone so special. So,
You USR lived for 900 years.
oh, you have so much time. You have so much time, Liara.
Wow. This sounds uncomfortable.
Oh yeah. Very socially. To the game's credit, you do get to have socially uncomfortable situations in a very realistic way.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, but I did love Liar. And I also...
You loved her.
Oh yeah. She's just very sweet and smart and low-key.
It's a distress call. A message sent out across the Prothean Empire. A warning against the Reapers, but the warning came too late.
Reapers are so fucking cool.
Go Sovereign.
Reapers are just such a good threat.
They're such a good threat.
Yes.
If you could start a relationship with Sovereign and like
You can
romance Sovereign.
Yeah. Or like another like cooler Reaper.
Oh, like a hot Reaper. A hot Reaper.
I think that was a canceled DLC. Like a Reaper shows up and he's like, I don't like the other guys.
Yeah.
You seem cool though.
I mean, yeah, the best villains are the ones with good logic, right? I think. And then also he says, you exist because we allow it, you will end because we demand it. That's such a good line. The writing is pretty spectacular.
It's a hell of a twist.
Yeah, and so when you have to defeat him, you feel like you're doing your job, but you don't feel like the pinnacle of justice. At least I didn't. I was like, this is my side of the argument. It's the character I'm playing, so I have to do it, but I understand why you feel like organic life is no longer useful to you.
And
you know?
Yeah, you got a Reaper bumper sticker, and everybody knows where you stand.
Right. I wish we could have explored this more. I felt a connection with what you were saying earlier. I've lost someone recently in a nuclear explosion. So I'm looking, I'm on the market, but you wanted to destroy all organic life a little too much.
Yeah.
So...
And, I mean, we'll get here probably, but I'm not totally convinced that indoctrination is such a bad thing. That came out wrong. What I mean is, I think Sovereign makes a pretty good speech halfway through the game.
Wow.
And the internet agrees with me, Owen, so I'll just say, it's,
Julia went on the internet and she found like a bunch of like other indoctrinated people who started a subreddit.
Yeah.
Love to talk about how they love Reapers.
We have no beginning. We have no end. We are infinite.
Life and the importance of life is pretty relative and pretty subjective, and I think, if the machines are doing a better job and they have the same, what Aaron's shaking his head, but I mean, it just depends. It just depends on where on the spectrum you're sitting and looking at the rest of existence, right? And I think Sovereign is pretty eloquent. Big fan. Big fan.
Wow.
Oh, and you're upset.
I thought you were with the humans. You're clearly not.
I thought I was too, but talking through it now.
Here we are.
Yeah,
it's all right.
I know.
All a killer robot has to do is throw a couple nihilist sayings your way, and you're on board.
That might be true.
I suppose now you say the genophage was a good idea, too.
No, come on. You need the, what the fuck are they called?
The Krogan.
The Krogan. Very, very sad for the Krogan.
But do you need the Krogan at that level? You know what I mean? Because it's true, without the genophage, they become a pretty... Anybody who's backed by the Krogan...
I know.
That is a big theme. So in a way, we're all sovereign? You know what I mean? Like they...
Well, you are.
Yeah, well...
I know that.
You're really just selling this Reaper viewpoint hard.
I should really back down. I thought I was going to win you guys back with that. I feel like I've pushed you further away.
In a way, though, I see what you're saying.
But you see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just not how I saw this discussion going when we started.
Just like pro-Reaper propaganda.
Yeah, I didn't think you were going to be the Republican.
I really like that Julia would of the choices in the wheel, like when you're talking to the council, being like, you still don't believe me about the Reaper threat. Yeah. Julia wants one that's like, you guys, the Reapers sound pretty reasonable.
Yeah, Sovereign's got some solid points.
Where's that game?
And your friend's just like, Shepard.
You've killed your almost lover, and you're ready to defect to the Reapers. to the bad guys, kind of. And you have to justify those decisions to everyone. Or I have to justify them to you guys. But I don't know. If the theme is life is important to the people who live it, but looks different to the people who aren't...
No, go on.
No, I don't know. Aaron's rolling his eyes.
No,
Aaron is rolling his eyes.
Don't look at him. Go on.
I'm not rolling my eyes.
I'm done.
I'm searching different corners of my mind for some sort of justification for what you're saying. But please, Fence.
For the record, I am anti-genophage. I think that is not cool, but I get it. No, we're done. We're not talking about that anymore. So, guys, what is the most nostalgic thing about this game for you?
Nostalgic, like how do you mean?
Let me rephrase that. What is something that's shitty and of its time from this game that just, like, doesn't play well, doesn't look good, doesn't sound good, but you wouldn't change it because it's such a cute, endearing part of the game?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is this is an unpopular opinion to have about this part of the series, but the combat in the first game, the fighting, it was my favorite of the series.
Really?
Because it wasn't just like you go into a room and there's some chest-high walls and you do some cover shooting for a while. That's what happens in the sequels. The first game, you can kind of just run around wherever. You can get behind a crate. If there's a crate in the room, there's probably somewhere to find cover. But it felt more free in a way. Like you could get more creative with where you put yourself and how you space out using your powers. But, I understand that they were clearly, like, figuring things out still with the combat, and I feel like most people found the combat to be not great. Not the best part of the game. But I really liked it, because I feel like enough of the core mechanics were there, and it didn't feel quite so repetitive.
I do remember, because the combat is, like, slightly broken in that, like,
it's janky.
You can ram Shepard against a wall, like, several times before he's like, oh, I'm gonna get in cover. That's that.
See, I didn't find that.
Oh, you really?
Yeah. I didn't feel that way. I felt like he could get in pretty good. Yeah.
Might have been user error. But I was gonna say that I do remember in Mass Effect 1, more instances of me being like, okay, I'm gonna take a risk and, like, charge at this guy, than in Mass Effect 2 where I was like, I'm always in cover.
Right.
I'm gonna be in cover here.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna shoot this guy.
Well, like you go into a room and there's some chest-high walls. It's like, oh, time for some fighting.
Right.
First game, you didn't know when fighting was going to break out necessarily. It could happen any time, any room, in the middle of conversations.
It was my first time shooting things in a video game instead of using a sword. And I gotta say, it's pretty hard at first.
Yeah. No, it is hard.
Not my strongest. There was one scene of Huskers, is that what they're called? Just like the zombie things that come at you?
Husks. Very close.
Yeah. Thank you.
Husker is a corn worker.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I see your point. Right. So the corn people, they're coming at you, and I had to do it for, I want to say 3 hours to live through that one interaction. So that was frustrating. Yeah. But you really do feel accomplished if you're me, and by the end of it you've survived. And you learned how to use a gun. I didn't upgrade it, I don't think, at all, because I didn't know how to do that.
Well, see, that was what I was going to say for this question.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the inventory management...
Yeah, the inventory was not great.
...is basically Quicken. It's like doing your taxes. You get in there and you're like, I don't know what the fuck is going on here. Like, there's so many menus.
Yeah.
They're all, everything is designated just like, sometimes by name, but mostly by like Roman numeral. It's like, don't want to switch out Avenger 3 for Hurricane 8. Like,
you upgrade your ammo and like all those ammo upgrades take up your inventory space and
they're like sub-menus of sub-menus of sub-menus that you have to like assign.
Yeah.
But I kind of loved it.
I love doing your taxes too.
Yeah, I like that's just because I get returned sometimes. But I did like that inventory management thing because as much as I like the visual customization that came with later games, there was a depth of like, okay, I'm gonna have incendiary rounds and I'm gonna assign myself these slots and Rex is gonna have exactly this layout. I think that got lost a little bit in the consoleization of the later games.
Nice shot.
This is why you humans have such a violent reputation.
They're spiders, right?
Spiders?
A queen spider? No.
Queen spider. Okay, what you're remembering is on Noveria, you have to rescue. You have to decide whether to rescue. What are they? They're like arachnid type of arachnid.
Oh, the arachnid.
Yes.
Of course.
As I remember, that there's a lot of little arachni around, but then the queen arachni is just sort of in stasis.
Yeah.
And once you beat Benezia, it's over, and she's been used basically But you can decide whether to free her or not. You don't actually have to fight her, do you?
No, but you make a pretty boss decision.
You do.
Free her or keep her.
Yeah, the Rachni stuff...
Didn't get you?
It never... No, it did, but whether you free her or not, it never really ended up mattering, like in the later games. They tried to make it matter, but it never did. Because the Rachni, like, never comes in and helps you in later games. Like, you think they're going to, but... Yeah, that was one thread that I wish had more payoff.
Yeah, because what happens
in the series.
In Mass Effect 2, like a guy comes in, he's like, "Oh!"
Yeah.
And then he's like,
I have a message. Yeah, he's like, I have a message for you from your friend Queen Rachni that you freed. And you're like, great, okay.
And she's just basically saying hello. She's just like,
Right.
"Hello, Shepard." And
Right.
that's
And
it.
then in the third game, you like see her again or something. Like you see the Rachni Queen again.
Yeah, I think-
and then you can like again decide whether you're going to kill her or not. But again, it never really amounts to any of that.
Yeah, I think you get like 100 combat readiness or some shit
Yeah.
in Mass Effect 3.
Yeah.
No, but what you want to have happen is like a Rachni like tear apart a Reaper.
Yeah,
or something.
it never happens.
Totally.
Never
Yeah,
happens.
that doesn't
happen.
No.
Oh, I haven't finished the third one yet.
It's alright. No. Back to the first game, though.
Yeah.
The Rachni, yeah.
I like
It's a cool
that.
idea.
It's sort of the same decision, though, as the Krogan, isn't it? Like, do I allow this dangerous species to exist because life is sacred?
Right.
Yeah.
Or do I kill them because in the past they've been a liability? You know, like, it's that same root decision of, am I ruthless and pragmatic, or am I idealist and
Yeah.
And so in
except that
that
they're
way-
giant roaches. So, like, who really cares?
To you.
Like, the Krogans have a lot of personality.
That's true. That's
and,
true.
like, team up with you. Yeah.
And the Rachni are like giant roaches who like to sing songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can limit or destroy life, should you?
Oh.
Limit or destroy?
Well, in terms of the genophage,
Mm-hmm.
in terms of Sovereign and his gang of Reapers being able to wipe out humanity, how do we know they're not right?
Wow, such an indoctrinated question. I'm just
I'm so serious right now.
spent way too much time around Reapers.
All right, fine. All right, we'll come back to it.
Let's talk about alien sex.
Let's talk.
I have to go.
You have a pretty important decision at the very end about whether or not the council is sacrificed for the good of humanity, or if a lot of lives are lost for the council. What did you guys do?
Let them die.
Yeah.
Save the council.
You saved the council?
Totally. Yeah, I think this is like Renegade Paragon. This is one of those sort of things where, like, am I pragmatic and looking out for humanity, or do I want to be the galactic good guy?
If we killed the council, are we bad? I thought we did the
You
right
let 'em
thing.
die?
Yeah.
You're renegades.
Wow, I thought we did
You
the
know,
Paragon
It's definitely
thing.
the evil choice.
The
renegade
I have
choice.
no idea.
But that's I think that's the point of Bioware's writing on this, is that, like, either is defensible.
Yeah.
You are saving human lives. It's defensible. But Paragon is more like you want to be a good member of galactic society, and Renegade is you're looking out for your own interests, you know?
Wow. So many times I've tried to do the right thing in this game, or make someone else do the noble thing in this game, and it just didn't work out.
Didn't work out. Yeah. And that's when, late at night, with a bottle of Turian ale in your hand, what Sovereign's saying starts to make a lot of sense.
Look, I'm just saying, it's a good monologue. And listen to him, you know? He means it. And I don't think he's coming from a violent place necessarily. I think, am I defending Sovereign again?
Yes.
For the fourth time in this podcast?
Yeah.
Great. All right.
It's happening a lot.
Let's
talk about, what do you guys think of the Volus?
Right, the Volus.
Or the Hanar.
Pretty useless alien.
Or the Elcor. All useless species of aliens.
Is the Volus the tube mouth?
Yes, the little mole-looking dudes.
The little mole guys, and they're very mercantile. They're like always trading with you, or they want to make a deal.
Yes. I love those.
No, I do too. It's like such a. It makes the world, the universe richer. I feel like.
Yeah,
because they've clearly put a lot of thought and effort into these dumb species.
Totally.
They don't really play that big of a part in the big story.
Yeah.
But, you know.
When they're aware, it's cool because they're aware of that they're the shitty species.
Yeah.
Like, they know it.
Yeah. Like, Hanar is just there to, like, sell you goods.
Right.
Like, they know that.
Right. Or, like, preach the truth of the Enkindlers.
Right. Like, who gives a shit? Really?
Another
but
Elcor.
you're glad that they're there anyway.
Totally. And in the Volus, they really do add to the sense of the universe in that, like, The Volus are, I think they were like the second species who got to the Citadel, but they're still not on the Council, and they still are behind humans and everything.
How do you know all this about the Volus?
Because they're bitchy about it. They'll always throw that in your face of like, you humans are getting a lot very quickly. You know how long we've been around? Like, oh, it's no big deal.
Yeah, and you're like, whatever, I should go.
Like, excuse me, you don't have anything to sell me.
What do you want from us?
Right.
Yeah.
I should go.
My last question was like, what touched you about this game that you remember, 7 years later or whatever? But there's a lot of fodder there, I feel like. It's a very good game. It's compelling, the writing is good, the characters are good. Yeah. So maybe it's hard to choose a thing that, you know.
I mean, I would say, this is what I was saying before, it's like your squad, they're like your friends, and you feel very connected and very invested in them, and if they all make it out alive, which I feel like that whole thing gets heightened in the sequels, like, your friends, your squad mates dying or not, because you actually start to get attached to them, because you go through a lot with them, even if you decide to not take them on their revenge quest. You just do it without Garrus. But that's what stayed with me is the relationships, and just how well those characters are fleshed out. Mm-hmm. I think that stayed with me even more than the awesome story. As awesome as it is.
I think for me it was actually it was a real joy in gaming again, actually. Because I had been a while without a current system. I had played PC games that were throwbacks or whatever, but I didn't have a current console. And then I got one, a gift from one of my good friends, James Hawkins. And,
James Hawkins.
Shout out.
Hey, James.
And I was able to play this generation games. And so I remember playing that, and before when I had played those two abortive attempts for those 2 weeks, and on my PC where it didn't work, and just being like, this is an amazing use of gaming power. All of the graphics look beautiful. They still don't look bad. And I remember sort of reinvigorating my sense of like wonder at this is what we can do to tell stories in video games. And what a wonderful start to a story.
Well, guys, I mean, yeah, I feel like my big takeaway is, give the Reapers a chance.
Yep. Yeah.
Just give them a chance, and we'll get back to this in 2 and 3. Because they stay around for 3 installments.
Yes.
But, great game at making you hear both sides of the story. You know, why are they doing it?
It's so bipartisan of you.
Very bipartisan of you.
God, no, that's not what I meant. I didn't mean it like no. This is not a Trump thing. This is absolutely not a Trump thing. Well, that's about it for the show. We sure learned a lot. Owen and Aaron are calling me a dirty Reaper sympathizer now, but you guys know where I'm coming from, right? Tweet at me, my husks, @ControllerPod. Bye!